What is up, guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's your girl here, the one that started it all, and I have another movie review by the request of a kind soul by Sidharth S. Now, Sidharth, I hope and pray I did not butcher your name. I am sorry if I did. That is not my intent. But hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for your request. The request that he gave me, the movie that he wanted me to watch, or they wanted me to watch, I cannot for the life of me pronounce it correctly so I don't butcher it. However, the movie is also known as AVPL. Now, AVPL is about two men who were switched at birth, Bantu and Raj. Now, Bantu is of the son of the rich family, and Raj is the son of the poor family. And they were both switched at birth. So the funny part was, how did this whole thing came about? Was it an accident? No, it was not. It was deliberate. So both Bantu and Raj were both born at the same time, both of them appearing to be dead. Now, what ended up happening was Raj came out, he came to, he woke up, he was crying and everything, and he was of the poor family. Now, the father, I'm just going to say the rich father. So the rich father went up to the poor father. I can't pronounce his name either for the life of me. I know it's V. How about this? I'll call him V, and then I'll call the rich father R. I'll do that. So V had his son Raj in his arms, and R went up to him and told him, "Hey, hand me that baby. I'll give you, money and stuff. Just give me that baby and count the dead one." Now, he goes, "Okay, fine, blah, blah, blah." Turns out Bantu, who was thought to be dead, cried, meaning he's not dead. The nurse sees this and tries to seize an opportunity to switch the babies back. She tries to attempt to get the baby back, switch the babies back. But V said, "No, he'll have a better life, blah, 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 blah." And in the process, he pushes her and she falls in a coma, and he ends up hurting his leg, giving him a permanent injury. Now, years go by, and both of these babies become young men. Raj is, innocent and timid, and he's the exact opposite of Bantu, because Bantu, he's honest, he's outspoken, he's hardworking, and basically because of the way they grew up, Bantu he suffers from constant criticism and neglect from his father, from V, but V loves Raj, of course, because that's his son. But then again, it's kind of sad because you're treating Bantu like crap, yet you're the one who chose to, switch these babies. You chose to, which is kind of sad. So Bantu, trying to better himself, tries to get his master's degree, which is rejected by V. So he decides to get a job at an agency which is run by a business by Amu. Which, get this, Amu just happens to be engaged to Raj, but Raj is in love with a woman named Namu, who happens to be his cousin. And this is because this was ARK's, let's just say our suggestion. And Amu and Bantu end up falling in love because he gets the job because he has a scuffle with the HR manager, which impresses her and goes, "Come with me." So they go to the business trip, and Raj is having a little bit of trouble because there is this big kahuna, this businessman who wants 50% of the company. He's trying to get the company that his family has. The problem is the father is not very happy with him because he can't seem to say no. All right. What ends up crossing paths with them is that they were able to say no to that guy. And like as the movie goes on, he ends up becoming the enforcer for R. Bantu becomes the enforcer for R about the shareholders, because not only does he have backbone when telling the truth and how, like he's not gonna let anyone tolerate that, he's not gonna let anyone push him around. Basically, a lot of crazy stuff happens. That because the reason why he got that job was because he saved R from being kidnapped and things like that, and because he saw R was impressed with how he did it. Went from there, he was like, okay, you're gonna come with me. During the course of this movie, there's a lot of like crazy stuff that happens, exaggerated stuff, but it's kind of cute because Raj is so into, his cousin. Well, technically it's not his cousin, but Nandi, I believe that was her name. He's in love with her and like tries to sniff her hair when they're riding about, things like that. And then the nurse, Bantu finds out about his two parentage, because the nurse comes out of her coma and tells him what's going on. And of course he's upset with V. I would too if I found out, if I was in his shoes. He slaps V across the face and go, how dare you? How can you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And, so many things. It's kind of mind blowing what happens next. I'm like, the ending was kind of cool because he becomes a rich guy. He ends up having, some shares and things like that. And he ends up going a helicopter, which makes me very jealous, because he always criticized them. You're never going to amount to this, blah, blah, blah. And he tried to better himself. He did not let what he been through, Bantu did not let the poor lifestyle get in the way of what he wanted. And he said so himself, all his life he never had a blissful moment or like the aha moment. He found himself never satisfied because he always found himself being, every time he, takes steps forward, he's always pulled back a mile, and it's crazy, The movie was a good movie. I'm not gonna say a whole bunch of stuff because if you guys want to watch it, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But it is a good movie. The whole switch that birth kind of thing. That thing has been shown about so many different times, but you never really see, how much it affects people and so forth. How much like the different, how different they're, brought up in the world differs from the next. But it was a good movie. So Sidharth, thank you so much for this movie. I'll give it a 9.5. A 9.5 because it was good. Like the action sequences were kind of cool. The drama sequences were great. It just goes to show, how Bantu is very truthful. There's a scene where his father tells him, hey, if anyone asks, if anyone calls for me, don't tell them I'm not here. And, a gentleman comes to the door and asks, is his father here? And he goes, my father told me to tell you that he's not home, but he is home. And it pisses V off. But you know what? He was truthful. And honestly, his whole life was a lie. So V should have backed up, But Bantu at the end of the day rose. He rose above it all, banging, even though he banged his head against the wall so many times, he found what he was searching for. He did it. He made it, And Raj had a happy ending too, He, to think that these two, this movie's about fate, pretty much. It's got a hint of faith, Fate may have separated them from their families, but in the end, they were brought back together to meet again. And that's what the story is. It's about a twist of fate. It's a twist of fate. And I think that's what got me to like it even more, because it was like, wow, who would have thought? Who would have thought that their destinies will somehow come together? Who would have thought that that was their fate? At the end of the day, what was lost was now found. What was taken is now given back. What is now gained back, you know? So that's what I felt. That's what this vibe of this movie is about, you know? Twist of fate and how, you know, despite these men's differences, they found a way to rise above it all. And that's what it is, you know? I feel like this story is mostly about Bantu than Raj, although it is about both of them. I feel like Bantu was the one that seemed to have the worst of it, you know. Raj had a lot of opportunities, you know. Uh, unlike um, unlike Bantu, Bantu wanted his MBA, but Raj didn't. You know, he came back from studying abroad and discontinued his studies at MBA for his MBA, and it's just like, wow, you know. And of course, R, you know, Raj's adopted father, well, foster, I don't know how would you go about it, but it's like unimpressed, like, dude, you know, you need that so you can take over the company so this man doesn't get it, you know, and it just goes to show one is more aggressive than the other. But it's completely different. They're two polar opposites. One was always given what he wanted, but never did anything with it. And the other one, he worked for it, but never got it. But yet he strived for it. He kept going. And, you know, this was a good movie. I would recommend it. It's a very long title, but it's AVPL. That's the acronym. I'm sure if you type it in, you'll find what I'm talking about. But yeah, you know, his whole world turns upside down when he finds out he was the son of a millionaire. You know, but yeah, it's a good movie. So, Sidharth, thank you so much for the suggestion, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and y'all have a great day, okay?